My motto is make art to spread love. So it's kind of like it helps me whenever I'm choosing like a decision to make or a collection to drop. It's like, is this going to help me spread love?
Welcome. We are here at Beyond the Game, and we're trying something very unique and good here today because we have Mr. Trey Stewart. Trey, welcome to our Beyond the Game podcast.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
It's so good to have you here.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
We've talked to people, and I think you have a universal persona that we all see. In basketball, you know, I played, and there's these football helmets around your head. You know?
Yeah, makes it hard.
They don't see your personality as much. But in basketball, we see you guys, and that's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. So thank you for your uplifting personality.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
In fact, you have some really interesting things that you've done. Tell us a little bit, first of all, how did you get to BYU?
So I originally committed to UVU, got recruited by Burgess and Pope.
Really?
Yeah. Then right before I left on my mission, Pope got the job at BYU, and it was great. Well, first of all, he signed an extension for UVU for 6 years. I was like, oh, perfect. He'll be there. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like a few weeks later, he signed to BYU, but thankfully brought me over. And yeah.
Did he was he able to communicate, hey, Trey, you know, we want you at BYU too?
Yeah. So it was cool. I appreciated that.
How'd you feel about that?
It's just good, like, because, I mean, he's a very good recruiter. So it's just cool to, like, see him bring me in still and still have that belief in me. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, I have a son, Luke, who served his mission in Leeds, England, Northern England.
Yep.
I remember looking at the map and seeing Nottingham Forest and a lot of cool little towns.
Yeah.
I was surprised to find out that that's where you served your mission.
Yes, and I actually served in Nottingham for about 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was really cool.
So
I love Robin Hood. You see the Disney Robin Hood?
Of course.
So that's always been my favorite. So it was cool because in high school, Oodalali was always like my motto. Like regardless of what happens, we're just gonna be happy. Like,
man.
Yeah, thanks. And then got transferred to Nottingham, and I was excited.
Well, I mean, Robin Hood. Do you see yourself as Robin Hood sometimes?
I don't be stealing that much, but you know, we do our thing, whatever. We'll give. We don't need to steal.
You know, I'm grateful because some friends of mine invited me to attend one of your BYU basketball practices this summer. We're taping this in July. And so a week or two ago, I got to go there. And there's so much talk about what you guys are doing. You know, your new coach, all these players coming in, players going in, players going out. Tell me what your feelings are about all these changes.
Yeah. Really, at the end of the day, we're just playing a game that we grew up playing. So it's just very simple. I mean, we're college-age kids. You bring in new guys. It's like, oh, we're going to be friends. Like Egor comes in, very nice dude.
Does he speak much English?
Yeah, perfect English.
Really?
Yeah. He learned it from his roommate when he was in Spain. He learned Spanish and English.
Oh, I wanted to call him Egor because, you know, you think of Russian, but he's Egor.
Yeah, we call him Egor.
Okay.
Yeah. Got a lot of nicknames for your teammates. We call him Green Yeggs and Ham, Yeggs Benedict. We love the nicknames. But like Mo comes in, Mo's a good happy dude. Eli,
Who's Mo?
Moat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Eli, Cannon. It's just anybody who comes in. Kaba, it's like, oh, you're cool. And then we all just get along because we have a good foundation as a team.
That's what I felt as a fan watching your one practice, but I was there felt like a couple hours. I saw that it seemed like everybody was pretty good friends.
Yeah, 100%.
And tell me, man, because here you are. I mean, I remember the feeling coming to a top university and the competition in class. I mean, think about it. the top 10% of every school in the country is coming here to this university. So all of a sudden, you're competing with top students in class.
Yeah.
But on the athletic field or court, you're competing with the top people in the country, you know, or even in the world now. How does it feel to be competing at such a high level?
It's good. It's fun. It's just like, you know, everybody wants purpose in life. Everybody wants to do something important. And it's just cool to be in a position where you can prove that. You have all the resources you need to grow. You have all the teammates around you. And most of all, it's just fun to just see yourself get better and better.
One thing that impressed me about that practice is, you know, there didn't seem to be any envy.
Yeah.
I didn't see any sour faces, you know, guys hanging their head like, I want to be it.
Yeah.
You know, and when you have so many good folks on the court, you're all going to have to share.
Yeah, 100%.
Is there some fear among players like, oh, dang, how are we going to get playing time?
I mean, that's always a natural thing from minds ago, but it's just about fighting that agenda inside of your head and just really think about your teammates. Especially it helps having a good relationship. And we kind of talked about this years and years ago. It was when after my freshman year when like all a bunch of people transferred, like Caleb Lowe and Alex Barcelo graduated. Our team, we only had like 6 people. And Pope talked to us a lot about just like building a good foundation and building a good core. So then once we add pieces, everyone can just fit in. Because with the transfer portal, it's awesome that you can be able to bring in awesome talent. But a lot of the times it kind of destroys the culture.
Right.
So we wanted to make sure to establish a good culture. And I feel like since I've been there, it's been cool to see that culture just like always be there.
But you have to build it, you know?
Yeah. 100%.
And it's not just the coaching staff. In fact, it's more the players. So tell me or give me an idea of who in the locker room of all the players kind of unifies you guys.
Yeah. I think Trev's the first one that comes to mind just because, like, veteran guy, has a lot of experience. People just gravitate towards him. Dallin's another big one. I mean, Dallin organizes a lot of team activities, organizes pickup. There's just a lot of people who are people just turn to. And there's I wouldn't say it's like one person at all. It's definitely a lot of people.
I'm sure it's all of you guys.
Yeah. So it's really fun to see.
I can't imagine you not being involved.
Yeah. I like being involved and like bringing in my teammates, being that kind of bridge. Yeah. So it's cool.
Especially when you're bringing in guys internationally now. I mean, do you know Lon Neild? Lon Neild knows Foose really well. He owns property up in Wyoming.
Oh, I think I do.
You might.
Yeah, if I saw him, I'd recognize him.
You might have gone up to his property. I don't know if it's fishing events or snowmobiling events.
Foose loves fishing. Foose loves fishing.
But anyway, Foose has gone there because that Lon lives in Alpine.
Yeah.
And Foose, I think, the family that
the Zetners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They live in Alpine. So anyway, there are a lot of people that just love watching you, your team, and the growth you guys are doing. The Big 12, compare for us playing on the court day in, day out against the Big 12 relative to the WCC.
Yeah. The WCC, very good, very fun. But you have like the Gonzaga, St. Mary's, Santa Clara games that are a little bit tougher. And then you have other ones like Pepperdine and Pacific where it's like if you can get away with playing like an average game and still winning. But in the Big 12, you simply can't do that. Every day is like a Gonzaga game.
There's no average games against Big 12.
Not at all. And that's one thing that was like really hard once we got to the tournament and everything is we were all like very exhausted because it was just like a brutal path of every game was just like go, go, go. There was no easy game. So we were all very, very tired. But, I mean, it was very good to like see that we can play up to that competition. But
as a fan, I was so proud of what you guys were able to accomplish all year long.
Yeah.
All year long.
Yeah.
And that was fun. I was going to say my son, Luke, played for American Heritage for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And so this young man, Keita, do you pronounce it Keita, his last name?
I think so.
I think so. Anyway, Keita came here brand new. And I don't believe he spoke a word of English his first year there. And so we as parents, I speak Spanish, so I tried to communicate, but, French and Spanish are similar for people who know multiple languages.
Yeah.
But it wasn't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Keba had this raw talent and athleticism that was amazing. He's transferred now from Utah as a guard. What do you see from Keba and Fous? That the two guys that speak French, Fous speaks a lot more English. I bet Keba does now too.
Yeah.
What do you see from your post players?
Well, yeah, they both speak perfect English.
Good for them.
Yeah. But in terms of both of those guys, like Fous, in terms of his post-up game, I mean, you just want to feed him the ball every time because he's so good, so crafty and patient. You think about his height, he's a little bit undersized for a big, but the way he can move and the way he uses his shoulders and his chest.
Did he play in, was it Mali that he?
Who? Fous?
Did Fous play in Africa? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like
he grew up mostly playing soccer, which I thought was funny. He loved soccer.
Big guy
he would not. Yeah, but transitioned to basketball and just been killing it. And then Keba is like the dream aerial attack player because you can just throw it up and he'll go get it.
So do they complement each other? I mean, Fous is so good at posting and spinning and putting up little.
I think it's good to have that versatility because, like, last year we had Ali and Fous, where Ali was, like, a very good passer and was a capable shooter. You had Tiki, who was very good on the aerial attack, and then you had Fous, who was a good post-up, but could also be a little bit more aerial. So I think it's just good to have that versatility because then you put in the game, and it's like the other team has to adjust to that, and then it can open up other things. So it just makes it funner.
Cool. I love all the wide ranges of. Do you think your coach is going to platoon, and put in entire groups of guys at times? Because in the Big 12, you get wiped out, tired, and physically exhausted. So here now you've got a full bench and a lot of guys who can take time on the court, yourself included. You're going to be there. Do you think Coach Young is going to have you guys go in this 5 and then this 5, or
it really
how do you think it's going to work?
He's an intellectual coach, very strategic. So depending on the opponent, he knows our team's skills, and right now it's a very strong evaluation of everyone's skills.
Sure.
I'm seeing where they fit in, so it's very early to tell right now. But he's a great strategic coach, so he'll be able to put in a group that needs to produce.
I was really impressed about you, Trey, because you have a business. And the business name is so cool. Default Happiness.
Yeah.
I read a book by Malcolm Gladwell, and he talked about default to truth. That humans, generally, we should default to believing others, to the truth. Default to happiness.
Yeah.
Defaulting to choosing to be happy. How did that? Why did you name your business that?
I was just reading that book, and it was just an idea that really resonated with me. Solve for Happy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it just really resonated with me because I really like the idea of generating your own happiness, rather than needing a lot of external things to contribute to your happiness. So whether you have a good day or a bad day, it doesn't matter because you can reset yourself to your happiness.
Interesting.
So I do that through scripture reading, prayer, yoga, just there are certain stuff like that to make sure my life is balanced. I like making art, do school, play basketball. There's a lot of things that help my life be balanced. And as long as I'm taking care of those things, then those things can help me. My default be happiness, regardless of what bad stuff comes.
I was watching a news report, and for some reason they were showing you giving a gift to Dwayne Wade. I thought that was cool. Tell me about that.
No, that was a really good opportunity. Just been making art for the past couple of years and started to get really good at it. Got a sewing machine through a fashion show, so my skills were getting a little bit better. And then Ryan Smith came with me the opportunity to make something for Dwayne Wade. So, yeah, we were ready for it. Made him a nice little hoodie out of a granny square, and he enjoyed it.
So your business, Default Happiness, where do you obtain these articles of clothing or pieces of cloth that you put together in an artistic fashion?
Yeah.
How do you do that? What drove you to start doing that?
Really, I like taking fabrics. I'm not a huge logo, put it everywhere. I kind of like fabric speaking. as like a logo or anything, just so like people see it's different. And I don't like contributing to a lot of like the fast fashion stuff, so that's why I like to reuse a lot of blankets and stuff sold on Facebook Marketplace, because those blankets would either sit there or be thrown out. So I like giving them new life. So usually Facebook Marketplace, vintage shops, just the different things like that. And then, yeah, it's just fun to create out of random materials,
Well,
Walmart towels, whatever.
So many of the things I've seen that you've created have uplifting messages. So is that you're just trying to spread happiness? Or
Yeah, so my motto is make art to spread love.
art to spread love.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it helps me whenever I'm choosing like a decision to make or a collection to drop. It's like, is this gonna help me spread love? And how can I make this spread love? So having that purpose and direction is just really beneficial for me to like find direction and like where I want to go and make sure I'm remaining in my purpose.
I love that. In fact, all of us on this planet should have that as a goal. And our biggest exemplar,
Yes, our Lord and Savior.
he gave us that creed that we're supposed to do. So thank you for carrying that.
No, appreciate it.
Especially, for all that you represent as a mission, or, you were a missionary.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we still are. But you're still an ambassador.
Yeah.
Or a disciple.
Mm-hmm.
For good. And that's a good thing. The other thing I saw about you that I really identified with is usually people see me as an outgoing person. And I do like to be with people.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how personality-wise, when I've been with a bunch of people or talked with a lot of people, there's some people, extroverts,
Mm-hmm.
who they get more,
they can go
and more energized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I get more and more tired.
Yeah.
And you said something about that and I could see your art would be a place where you could resort
Mm-hmm.
to create
Yeah.
and replenish.
Mm-hmm.
How did you say something about a battery?
Yeah, it's just the social battery that we all have.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's like the difference between like extroverts and introverts. Extroverts are very like outgoing and they get energized, like you're saying, when they're around people.
Right.
A lot of people just get them a little amped up. But then the introvert, it's like when he's around those people, yeah, you can kind of put on that face. Like you're very good at it. Just like talking to people, making
And
small
you can
talk.
too. I see
Yeah,
it.
we're capable of doing it, and it's like it's awesome. We love connecting to people. We
Right.
love getting to see other people's light. But then once we get home, it's like, oh, like you just are exhausted. Like your battery just slowly drained. You need to take a nap. You need to go do something alone. So yeah,
My wife gets mad at me for coming down into my man cave.
Hey, the man cave. I always like say how important it is to have a sanctuary to create. And that's what I'm learning is with my art, I need to have a separate room from the room because I used to do it in the room that I worked in.
Oh.
And then it was hard for me to do my homework in that room because it was like every time I was in there, I was
Get
just had like my
distracted.
creative mind. And our mind's like very schematic in terms of like, okay, when you're in your bed, it's time to go to bed. When you're at school, it's time to do this. So then having that like art sanctuary has been very beneficial for me.
That's
Because it's like I create this environment where as soon as I walk in, it's like my brain flips to my art side and then all that inspiration comes and I'm in that mode.
I was impressed with your video that I saw because you described a continuum and you said, there are people who are really involved in business
Mm-hmm.
and people who are very artistic.
Yeah. You did your research. I'm impressed. That's good.
So anyway,
Yeah.
it was cool
Yeah.
that you see yourself more on this artistic side.
Yeah, 100%.
And I was impressed with that. Like, you're not doing, and we haven't talked about your NIL business as much, but
Mhm.
you have a business where you're actually selling product, I think,
Yeah.
or more giving it away, I think, not
Mhm.
selling it for profit. In fact, you said that you hadn't taken any money out of it. But what an inspirational idea
Mhm.
to use your artistic mind or heart to go out and do these things for other
Yeah.
people.
Thank you.
Cool.
Appreciate that.
I'm from that generation where when I see a pair of shoes, it's a pair of shoes,
Yeah.
And so Eli,
man.
yesterday
Yeah. You gotta switch that mindset.
now I know. No, Allen Edmonds are the best dress shoes you could ever have.
Okay.
And you might not know about
Nah,
Allen Edmonds.
no clue what Allen Edmonds are. Do you know what Allen Edmonds are?
You see, I'm dating myself, right?
Okay, yeah.
But Allen Edmonds.
But you played with Eric Mika. We can roll that clip from
because I've talked to guys like Eric Mika and a whole bunch of guys from my era.
Yeah.
But this is fun to have.
Eric Mika's your era? Just kidding.
No,
I kid.
You got me.
I'm
You
kidding.
got me. I played with Eric Mika maybe at church ball once when he lost the ball and threw it over to me or something. No, I played. Actually, I lived with Scott Runia, Fred and Glenn Roberts, and Danny Ainge was one of their buddies. So that was my era.
Okay.
And BYU had a wonderful basketball program back then. You remember those names, right?
Yes, of course.
So, those were the guys. And I did play basketball with those guys. That was fun.
Yeah.
But where was I going, Eli?
You're saying shoes. And,
shoes, yeah. Yesterday, we had one of our guests here, and he was wearing a really fancy pair of tennis shoes, but I thought they could be a $60 pair from the Nike outlet.
Yeah.
And Eli, what were they, Eli?
They were Travis Scott's.
Scott's, so something worth, according to Eli, $1,200. How, why am I not aware of that?
Yeah. That's a different world, especially if you're not involved. It makes no sense. Yeah.
And if I bought a pair of shoes like that, they come
shoes. Yeah.
Can I play ball in?
Yeah, like 12 out of there, cook me food or something. Make you fly.
Oh, we're solve for happy. I was impressed with you talking. You said something. I guess your dad is on the coaching staff for the women at BYU, right?
He was.
He was?
Like 3 years ago.
What's his role now?
He does academic advising.
Okay.
University, yeah.
But one of the funniest things that you said that I could totally identify with was because of his academic advising and being connected to so many people, it was like he knew things about you or your friends or whatever before.
Oh, yeah. No, that would drive me crazy. It would be like I should hang out with a girl, and then I get a text while I'm hanging out with the girl. Oh, I was hanging out with blah, blah, blah. And you're like, how do you know this, bro? And he just has a bunch of minions of people on track, gymnastics, anyone just reporting.
That's not fair. That's not. But it sounds like you have a pretty good relationship with
Yeah, really, very good relationship with it. I've learned to move in silence.
So you can roll with it.
I've made sure to close off those resources. So now it's just he doesn't know what's going on.
We fathers can be sometimes a little too involved.
Oh,
But he's not. It sounded like he was involved in a good way.
Yeah, he just enjoyed the gossip, which I thought was just toxic. But it's whatever.
I love that. Psychology major.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So
what drove you into psychology?
I just like the mind. I think it's very even when I was on my mission, it was interesting talking to people and just recognizing how different people think, their train of thought. And one of my favorite things is talking to someone, and then they can be kind of closed off at first, and then all of a sudden you hit something that they're interested in, and then you just see that light.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing that I want to unlock in a lot of people is just that light. So that's why I like helping other people create and do stuff. But the mind has just always interested me. I came home from my mission. I was at my sister's graduation, and there were these dudes there. They were both counselors, and they were watching kids that they helped graduate high school, graduate college, and I thought that was just very fulfilling. So I wanted to do something where I could help people mentally succeed in life. I graduated with my degree in psychology.
Really?
Yeah. Took me 3 years.
You've already graduated?
Yeah. So I just did spring, summer, 18 credits, just grinding. Because I wanted to go.
What year are you in eligibility-wise?
This is my last year.
Oh.
So this is my 4th year.
I was unaware.
Yeah. So, I've been at BYU for 3 years, graduated, and now I'm just going to do my art this last year, so it'll be really cool.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So you're going to do your art. Are you required to attend any classes, any master's classes or anything?
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I wanted to go back and get my master's degree in psychology, but for right now, there's a lot of resources and places at BYU that can help me learn on the business side of things and art side of things and fashion. So I'm just going to take this year. I have an internship that's lined up where my internship is technically me just doing my business.
Good.
And I have a mentor that I report to, and he helps me, gives me stuff. So, yeah, that'll be really cool. I'm excited about it.
Sign us up for being one of your
Hey, let's go.
product. Trey, in this era of the transfer portal, a lot of guys are going to say, "Tech with this, I'm gone."
Yeah. I think the hardest part for me with the whole transfer portal is like the grass always green on the other side. And like, I've always been in the mentality of like, you commit somewhere, that's where you are. And you're not going to grow that much in character if you go somewhere that's easier for you. Granted, there's other reasons to transfer, places that will fit you better. But for me personally, I feel very strongly that if I'm able to figure out how to produce and how to thrive in an environment that's not easy, then I'll be better off and I'll grow in character. So that's the main things. I feel like I've grown in character a lot since being here, just through those hard experiences, rather than just entering the transfer portal and going somewhere and then I don't learn that lesson, and then maybe I'll learn that lesson later on in life, rather than learning it sooner. But I'm grateful I've learned all these lessons sooner.
I'm going to call you a young man because
No, you're good.
I'm a little bit older than Eric Mika. And I am so impressed with that mature attitude.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It super impressed me. This is one of the things I wanted to bring up because I saw recently that you broke the record of the NBA Combine. And tell me what they were talking about when you broke a record.
Yeah.
The NBA Combine is where they test athletes that are NBA potential players in all different things: speed, size, height, weight, body fat, jumping, agility. Tell us what you did.
Yeah, so it's called BAM testing. And just a bunch of different metrics that you test. And it was funny because I've done it for years. Our last strength coach, Eric Shork, would have us always run that drill. And me, Spencer Johnson, would always compete. Spencer's very efficient with his movements. So he taught me a lot of strategies and ways that you can be very effective.
How cool is that?
Well, yeah, you think of Spencer as like one of the like really good defender, one of the best defenders to come through BYU.
Yeah.
And it's just all like technique. Like he's very attention to details. All respect to Spencer.
And he shared that with you.
Yeah. So it was just funny. Like we'd always compete, but then at the end of the day, it was always like, okay, like if you take this turn, like try to get your. There's just a lot of different little things.
That.
Yeah. So it was cool. But then we were running the race, and we were doing it. The first one, I can't remember what I got. I think I got like 10-2 or 10-3. And the guy, one of our coaches, I don't even think he's like didn't know the numbers, but he's like, you gotta get below 10. And I was like, that's impossible. And then the guy who does the testing, he's like, I've been doing this for 18 years, and the fastest I've seen is 9.9, but I think you can get there. And I was sitting there, I was like, okay, whatever. So I just went and did it. Wasn't really thinking much of it. And I honestly didn't think I ran it crazy fast. And it's all measured by lasers, so there's really no way to cheat it. Whoa. On the way back, I felt like I did a really good job. And then all of a sudden I crossed, and they were like I thought they said 9.98, and I was like, oh, that's insane. But then it'd be 9.89, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. It was one of those things where like you sat there, and I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool.
Trey.
Thank you.
I mean, but they do that with all the guys nationwide, right?
Nationwide, every year,
Same
NBA
test.
Combine, same test. So.
Of course, you got the advantage. They talk about the Olympics, and when you're at elevation,
Yeah.
you're a little bit quicker.
100%. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What a cool record to hold. Were your teammates just going wild?
Trevin, I remember Trevin came up to me. He's like, bro, I don't think you guys, that was crazy. That's crazy.
You're cheating.
Yeah. I was like, I'll take it, man. So it was cool, but.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I saw a little video. I don't know where this came from, but you guys were teasing Egor.
Yep.
And calling him some turtle.
La
Not you,
Tortuga.
What was that about?
So
Is he slow?
No, he's not slow. He's not slow. Let's put that out there. Egor's very he's athletic, and it's very similar to like a Luka type of style of play.
Really?
And he's very he sees
Efficient.
the court, everything efficient. So it's like at the end of the day, like speed and everything, like yeah, that stuff matters and it's cool, but in terms of like producing, like you have to be able to translate that to the court. And he ran one of the races, and they were like some people look slow, and
Yes.
he looked slow.
I know
and
what you
ran.
mean.
So I think I can't remember. Someone said turtle or something. Someone called. I think it was one of the dudes who does the measurements, and then we all just started dying laughing. He was so mad. He's like, "You can't do that." And I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." So I think I can't remember. Someone said turtle or something. Someone called. I think it was one of the dudes who does the measurements, and then we all just started dying laughing. He was so mad. He's like, Call me Turtle. So then we all started calling him La Tortuga.
La Tortuga. You don't speak any Spanish, do you?
No. But Trevin served his mission in Ecuador.
Okay, so he does.
Yeah. So
I am so excited about you and your team.
thank you.
And with that quickness, and when you think of the guard play and the all-around play in the Big 12, and then with the idea to go on afterwards into the NCAAs and make a deep run, which I'm sure is a goal of you and your team.
100%.
It's so cool that, I mean, think Spencer Johnson's gone now.
Yeah.
But here he was sharing
Yeah.
some hints on here's how you do it a little bit better. And you're the kind of guy that's out there sharing hints to other guys. Here's how you do something a little bit better. I'm so excited to watch you guys play this coming year.
It'll be a good year.
As a player at BYU, and now in your last year, you're going to be doing your business and have a mentor. But what are your feelings? Do you have any feelings of, I don't know, gratitude or fear of the future, a little melancholy? What's going on?
Definitely a lot of gratitude. I've just been grateful for like the opportunity to be here in the first place, and grow as a person. A lot of excitement. I think there's a lot of energy around our program. It's just been cool to be a part of that and see that day in and day out. All the memories you have with your teammates, all the tiny little things. So, yeah, really just a lot of gratitude and excitement and optimism for the future.
Is Foose still going to be your roommate?
Yeah, me and him just moved into a new spot.
Really?
It's nice. We'll take it.
He seems like a genuine, just good person.
Yeah, he's one of those dudes where like you sit there and you're like you just sense his heart is just so pure. He has like the purest intentions with everything he does. Very close to God. Very good at practicing his religion. Yeah, love Foos. He's my guy.
I know we're kind of randomly going off on little sections here, but I remember something you said about your mission and how, bringing Christ to the lives of the people that you met was your goal and the whole idea to, solve for happiness.
Yeah.
know? And when you saw people, say like Foos, who had that peace and that, it wasn't like you were trying to change them.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And I was impressed with that. Again, another very mature attitude. Because a lot of missions, no, you gotta hear about our story, even though.
Yeah. I think, it's just kind of a dangerous mentality to have where it's like we're the only true one and all this stuff, because it just creates this weird like elitist like group where it's like we're better than you and you're wrong.
Right.
And then once my mindset shifted to like there's truth in everything, and like God wouldn't lead astray anyone like anyone who's trying to like practice and get closer to him. And I just realized that like maybe like this will work better for someone else. So like me and Foos, we took the missionary lessons, all that. It was cool. Learned a lot about each other. Learned a lot about his religion. And even on my mission, it was just cool talking to people. Like there was this Catholic dude that we knocked into, and one of the purest dudes I've ever met. Just like seeing his energy, seeing his light, and it was like, man, this dude believes in Jesus Christ. So, and even if it's not Jesus Christ, if it's God, at the end of the day, it's just cool to see people practice something that they genuinely believe.
Amen.
Yeah.
Because if we are all children of God, which we believe, then everybody's going to have some of that light. And we can all
100%.
learn from each other.
Yeah, that's a big point you made. Like learning from other people is a big one. Whereas like you can read other religious scriptures, you can listen to other religious leaders talk.
There's truth in all of it.
They're speaking
You can
their
find
truth.
it.
Yeah, and it's just cool because you learn their perspective, you learn their side of things, and it strengthens where you are.
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think it does.
Yeah.
And like you said, really reverbs with me is when we think of ourselves as perhaps better or that we have something that everyone else doesn't, it puts us in a different attitude, I guess.
Definitely not the attitude of Christ.
and yeah, he attended to the weakest.
Yeah.
And who needed. So thank you for attending to the weakest. Any other comments?
No, just practice what you feels right.
Perfect. I can't wait to see you on the court this I'm going to say winter, but it's happening pretty soon.
Yeah, that's very soon.
And I got to see that speed all throughout the season.
I got you.
And then I've seen you up above the rim. And so when you steal that ball and you go all the way down the court, I want to see you.
I'll give you a couple. I'll give you a couple, yeah.
Thank you so much. Trey Stewart.
Thank you for having me.
You are an inspiration to us, and thank you for what you do.
Oh, thank you.